summoning all DC fans onto the riveting roller coaster that is the journey of our very own Diana Prince, also known as Wonder Woman. Let's dive right into discussing the dark night of her soul. Well, no, not that dark night. As many challenges as the Amazon faced, in this new issue of the comic titled Night Terrors Wonder Woman, we see her face what might be her most terrifying foe yet, herself. We see otherwise heroic and virtuous demigod collide with the nightmarish, twisted version of herself. In doing so, a dark part of her is revealed to us. Let's find out what that is. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Exploring the entire story arc featuring a twisted version of Wonder Woman. Our story begins with Detective Chimp as he comes to and sees Diana lying unconscious in front of him. As he holds her, desperately praying that she awakens, Wonder Woman melts into what seems like an all-consuming goo that begins to drown him. A voice tells him to hold on, and a golden lasso comes in to save him from drowning. We are shown that it is, in fact, Diana herself who tells Bobo, as she calls him, to compose himself as they have to set out to find the rest of the members of the Justice League Dark. It's revealed that they are put to sleep by some unknown magical force, and everyone sleeps except Zatanna, who remains awake. Enter none other than John Constantine, another member of the League, an occult detective. We're informed by him that they are in the Nightmare Realm, a place created from their collective unconscious minds, a dreamland filled with their most frightening fears. An unknown, mysterious villain, Insomnia, has taken hold of their dreams in search of the Nightmare Stone. In the Night of the Terror storyline, it's said that the Nightmare Stone was once the Dream Stone, which was stolen by Dr. Destiny, also known as John Dee. After stealing it, he manipulated the Dream Stone into the Nightmare Stone and broke it into several pieces. Insomnia has caused the world to fall into eternal slumber, including all heroes and villains. The three must set off to find the rest of the League's members. The beginning of their search, as deduced by Constantine, lies at the start of a maze, while the rest of them are concealed in the center. Detective Chimp's concern about being separated and killed is quelled by Diana's lasso of truth. As long as they don't loosen their hold of it willingly, they won't be separated. The danger of the Nightmare Realm lies in the fact that it uses your deepest fears against you. Constantine tells them the only way to escape the realm of nightmares is to destroy their fears before the fears kill them. They pass a mural that depicts the Minotaur devouring sacrificial children. In Greek mythology, the Minotaur is a cannibalistic monster with the head of a bull and the body of a man who was imprisoned in a dark and intricate labyrinth built by King Minos on the island of Crete. Since the League is trapped in the Nightmare Realm and everything is spun from their minds, the question remains, whose nightmare is the mural of the cannibal demigod a part of? The lasso grows barbed, forcing the other two to painfully let go and be pulled to the other side of the wall, where we see Bobo's greatest fears come to life: demons, spiders, and an Oregon street grinder. This causes him to flee. Constantine gives up finding his way to the others and instead utters a spell, which means "bring them to me." And what he meets with is a horrific sight as the others are being tormented by their fears. While both of them struggle against their horrible fears, Wonder Woman finally manages to break through the wall when an all-pervasive voice talks about ancient heroes, or it calls them monsters. From Titus, Orion, Tantalus, and all their horrific deeds, it finally settles on the worst of them all, Wonder Woman. Her reflection on the golden plate is a strange monster which has serpents for hair as her distorted face asks how wrongly she thought she could ease the pain of others. Insomnia bursts out and they face each other at last. This scene does an excellent job of portraying Diana's inner strength and unbreakable spirit. She is aware of what lies in front of her and what it is spun out of. The lasso of truth allows her to wield pure truth as a power standing against all lies, delusions, and denials. Insomnia points out in a moment of her weakness that deception cannot harm, but he is the truth. We are forced to speculate her death as Diana is swallowed by a great serpent that he turned into. In the next issue, we see Wonder Woman and Insomnia locked in a fierce battle. A parallel is drawn between the sinister villain and Kronos, being the youngest of the Titans. He swallowed all of his children whole in fear of them usurping his rule one day, all except Zeus, who was hidden. Insomnia questions her very being in this moment, her essence and existence as a warrior princess with godly powers, which she uses to help people and bring peace to the world. Diana is faced with an unstoppable monolith beast, a monstrous version of herself. This challenges the conflicting parts that make up her core self. It questions her on how for an advocate of peace, violence is always present where she is. How she feels before battle, a sense of anticipation fills her. Her ways of saving the world leave death and destruction in their wake. Diana's eyes are unveiled to reveal a decaying ghoul engulfed in flames. Here stands her rage personified. It spits out frustrations about being put on a pedestal as a superhero, being made the torchbearer of hope and a savior in a man's world. All the while, the rage bubbles under the surface. Wonder Woman is painfully reminded of her immortality, how she is stuck in the limbo between a goddess and human, how she has to watch everyone around her die with the passage of time. Her monster self-talks about her lineage, being related to divinities who have had their hands stained with the vilest of actions. The monolith beast transforms into Diana's highest self, an unforgiving god, a being that clutches Zeus' lightning bolt, which symbolizes the strength and power she holds, and the monster thinks she wishes to hold over humanity. Diana's ethos is shattered. She falls with her hands bound by the barbed lasso of truth. This is surely the death of Wonder Woman. Metaphorically, she has reached the center of the labyrinth, wherein one must face the monster and attempt to kill it. A monster is killed, and the hero emerges. The duality of Wonder Woman represents the same in all of us. It refers to both good and evil inside of her, as she is capable of both. She is capable of violence, battle, and death, owing to her nature as an Amazon warrior princess, and also bringing of peace, maintaining righteousness and holding truth over everything else. Diana corrects Constantine's earlier statement. You cannot rid yourself of fear since it's a part of you. The struggle between her present self and her ideal self is what makes her feel human. It's what makes her feel alive. We see Diana, daughter of Zeus, burst forth from the serpent's stomach. The metaphor of traveling to the center of the maze to face the monster is how she had to face her greatest fear, to find her way home. It is a commentary on how one must face the consequences of their actions to grow. Diana gathers the rest of the members in the face of fear and tells them how nightmares hold all the imaginable possibilities of the future, and also can force them to relive the regrettable choices of their painful past. Reckonings and realizations all make up the sword that we can wield to fight fear. As the members of the Justice League Dark finally awaken in the waking world, they realize that while they remain trapped in the nightmare realm, the terrors of that world had crawled up to the waking world, posing a great threat to mortals. Assembled once again, they must gather forces to fight the nightmare that has come to the life in the waking world. How powerful is the dark killer instinct of Wonder Woman? As Diana comes face to face with the twisted version of herself, all the values she holds dear to herself are torn away from her. Given life as the princess of Themyscira and an Amazon warrior, battle and combat are an inherent part of her nature. Wonder Woman is said to be one of the most powerful superheroes in the DC universe, with her powers almost at par with Superman. From her superhuman strength, mind control, magical powers, and mastery over the lasso and other weapons, Wonder Woman is known for her sheer strength, but this makes her a formidable figure rather than a virtuous savior. Her methods of bringing peace is mostly through violence, which seems extremely ironic. Diana's actual reputation is far different than the image she has of herself in her mind. As a being with godlike powers, as she does, the possibility lies in her actions getting out of control and causing more harm than good. Her commanding, heroic presence brings unstoppable death instead of peace. Insomnia forces Wonder Woman to finally face her deepest insecurity of becoming a tyrannical god, just like her father. The twisted version of herself is seen as a giant, unconquerable monster that consumes anything or anyone that may try to stop her. Bullets and explosives can do no harm to the demigod. The dark side of Wonder Woman knows no mercy. All are cut down in her fiery wrath, and none survive. The anger she feels at the world has no outlet. There's no way she can let her fury out as the supposed savior of humanity. Diana's twisted self is strongly linked to her murderous family. She is the sister to Athena, the destroyer of Troy and Eris, the god of war himself. She is the daughter of Zeus, born from the line of gods who killed their fathers. So why would she be any different? She is said to be plagued by the insanity of killing and unquenchable bloodlust. The image painted here starkly contrasts the Wonder Woman we once knew. But as she is also aware, the more she runs from her twisted self, the more it chases to haunt her waking thoughts. Does this version of Wonder Woman make her more relatable? While on the one hand, Wonder Woman seems like the perfect, flawless deity with her strength gifted to her by Demeter, beauty bestowed upon her by Aphrodite herself, wisdom granted by goddess Athena, the speed and power of flight blessedly given by Hermes, and many other qualities that make her seemingly unyielding. But in the issue of Night Terror's Wonder Woman, that is far from the case. Even after being abundantly blessed by the gods, Diana has her flaws. Keep in mind that these flaws don't make her weak, but instead much more relatable to the readers. As we spoke about earlier, Diana seems to be stuck between the line of being a demigod and wanting to be human. Being able to face her true fears is what ties her to humanity. They ensure she doesn't turn into her worst vision. The twisted Wonder Woman's moral grayness is what we are able to relate to. The condition of being human is to be imperfect, just as Diana's humanity balances out the scales with her near perfection and divinity. In this story arc, we see the demigod's morale brutally broken by insomnia. We see the illusion she has of herself shattered. We see her seemingly defeated by her fear and insecurity. What else could make her more human? Even as a divine being, she has the capacity to have those experiences. As a sworn protector of humanity, we see her experience change just as we do. She must feel the need to fight fire with fire, as she's aware that civilization is a living force can get tainted, and there isn't always an honorable way of instilling peace. These traits humanize her greatly and raise the shared understanding that lies between Wonder Woman and the people. The most human lesson she learned and taught by leading through example is not to fear. Instead, face it, for it is part of us. Conclusion. So there we have the tumultuous story arc of our beloved Wonder Woman. The dark, twisted side of her makes her seem more human than her divine self. The admittance of insecurity and fear prompts a fondness for her. It shows us how even gods and demigods aren't perfect and have anxieties that lay heavy on their shoulders. It makes our most idolized superheroes more human. We wish to see Diana make peace with all sides of her. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.